Vacation Rental Inventory Metrics 101, a guide to measuring what really matters. If you cannot measure it, you cannot improve it. Lord Kelvin. All right, so this video is aimed at helping vacation rental executives understand the true value of new inventory into your rental program and what are those key metrics that really matter, how to measure them, and how do you compare to your peers in our industry. So let's get started. All right, so I've been in the short-term vacation rental industry since 2007, and I've got to interview hundreds of executives of various vacation rental management companies. And I've seen it from different angles. I've seen it from building up my own vacation rental company, and then also being an executive at one of the largest property management software companies out there. And what we've seen overall, the average of the average of the averages, is that the average vacation rental management company usually ends up netting about $36,000 in gross booking revenues per property. So the average GBR, or owner rent, if you will, is $36,000. The average commission rate is typically about 20%. So for this example, what we're going to use is we're actually going to use $36,000 as our gross booking revenue. We're going to use 20% or $7,200 in commissions. Now, I've asked this question well over 100 times, and the net margins that usually falls to the bottom line as a percentage of the gross booking revenue usually ends up netting to about 10% of the gross booking revenue. Now, you have some outliers that are going to be a little bit less or a lot more, but on average, you're looking at about 10% of the gross booking revenues. So in this example, $36,000 in gross booking revenue times 10%, we're going to say our average margins are about $3,600. So we're going to use this number for the rest of this presentation. All right, so here's it kind of shown a different way. So again, in summary, one property that does $36,000 in gross booking revenue will bring on about $7,200 in commissions and net margins of about $3,600. However, you don't keep a property in your rental program for 1 year, hopefully. Hopefully you keep them in your rental program for much longer. So how do you calculate what that looks like? So some owners may stay in your rental program for a year, but some have been in your rental program probably since you've started for 10 plus years. So what you do to calculate that average is to come up with your churn. So to come up with your computing the customer lifetime, what you want to do is you want to take your customer lifetime and you take 1 divided by your churn. So churn is the percentage of inventory you lose any given year. So if you have 100 properties in your rental program and you lose 10 this year, your churn is 10%. So for us to calculate the lifetime in years, what we want to do is we want to take 1 divided by that churn percentage, or 10%. And in this example, it's going to give us a 10-year lifetime. So for our examples, the average property is going to stay in our rental program for 10 years. And again, this is about average. And I've asked this question many, many times with multiple vacation rental management companies. And the average lifetime in years is about 10 years. All right, so here's how it looks after 10 years. So this is for one property. You have $360,000 in gross booking revenues over the life of the property in your rental program. You have $72,000 in commissions, and you have $36,000 in net margins or profit. So it's not bad. And I guarantee you, most vacation rental management companies have not calculated the lifetime value of a property adding to the rental program. But what happens if you add 10 properties? So if, let's say, this year you take a proactive stance and you go out there and you have this proactive marketing strategy and you add 10 properties to your rental program, you're adding over $360,000 in profit over the lifetime. Not bad. So let's show it another way. So again, $36,000, one property, $36,000 in annual gross bookings, $7,200 in commissions, $3,600 in margins, and a lifetime value of $36,000. Again, that's just one property. Here's what it looks like with 10 properties. $360K in gross bookings. You have $72,000 in commissions. You have $36,000 in annual margins and a lifetime value of $360,000. So if you add 10 properties to your rental program this year, you're going to end up getting a lifetime value of margins of $360,000. I'll give you a little trick or a little hack. And it's almost always accurate. And again, it depends on the the churn, and it depends on the margins, but based on the averages. But almost always, the lifetime value of a property equals the annual gross booking revenue. So if you have a property that's doing $36,000 in gross booking revenue, that has a lifetime value of $36,000. Or if you have a property that, let's say it's doing $50,000 in gross booking revenue, you're going to end up having a lifetime value of $50K. All right. However, there's an important piece of the puzzle we're missing here. Not only do you make money each and every year that you have this property in your rental program, but if and when you decide to sell your company, you're going to get paid for that property. So using the same example, $3,600 in annual margins. Now, if you ask Dylan Burgess in our M&A department, or if you ask, say, Jim and Jacoby Olin, what's the average multiplier, and you're typically looking, it's anywhere going to be between 3.5 and call it 5.5 times your earnings. For this sake, we'll just use 4% as an average. So here, one property, when you go to sell your vacation rental company, you should get paid approximately $14,000 for that one contract. Not bad. Now again, what happens if you had 10 properties? There's an extra $144,000 when you go to sell. All right, let's move on to customer acquisition cost. So CAC, or customer acquisitions cost, what is it? It is the cost to generate a new customer. All right, so let's do a very simple example just to make it easy. So if you send out 1,000 letters or 1,000 postcards, and let's just say they cost $1 a piece, your investment is $1,000. And let's say your response rate is at 0.5%. The Direct Marketing Association said that's the average response rate for a direct mail piece. So in this case, you'll get 5 calls, and let's just say you convert 20% of those calls into contracts. You'll end up getting 1 contract. So in summary, you spent $1,000 to get a contract. Here, in this example, your CAC would be $1,000. All right, so let's see what that looks like. So again, using our example of that property that does $36,000 in gross booking revenue, and you've got $3,600 in first year margins, or $300 a month, we can see that we have this cash outlay in the beginning of $1,000 to acquire the customer. But we have this stream of revenue and this stream of profits at $300 each and every month. So here's how it looks month by month by month. And here's how it looks on a cumulative basis. So you can see after 3.3 months, we've actually broken even. But after month 4 on to 4 to 12, it's all profit, and then year 2 and beyond. So here in this example, we've had $1,000 outlay to get this customer. We've broken even after 3.3 months, and we've made this money all the way through. So after year 1, we're net positive $2,600. All right, so here's how it looks over the lifetime though. So again, you've invested $1,000, and you've profited $36K, netting you $35,000 over the life of that property. I would argue there isn't a better ROI on the planet than investing in inventory acquisition. All right, let's move on to unit economics. So what is unit economics? So unit economics in its simplest form is, can I make more profit from my customers than it costs me to acquire them? So we're going to go over 3 primary metrics for this video today. We're going to go over ROI, CAC, and LTV to CAC ratio. All right, so what is return on investment? For every dollar I invest in inventory acquisition, how much do I make in profit? So first year ROI, our target is typically going to be about a 1 times return on investment. So after the first year, we're looking to kind of cover our acquisition cost. And the top companies are typically doing it at about a 4 times ROI after the first year. And we're typically looking, our target for a 5-year ROI is going to be about 10 times. And then the top companies that we're seeing is usually about a 20 times ROI for 5 years. All right, the next metric we're going to talk about is months to recover CAC. So how many months does it take to recover our customer acquisition costs? So remember this slide from before? So typically what we're looking for is most of our partners, we want to see less than 12 months as far as a customer acquisition cost, months to recover that. The top companies are doing it in less than 4 months. Next up is the LTV to CAC ratio. So the lifetime of profits of a property versus the cost to acquire them. So this is the holy grail of all metrics in inventory acquisition, and there's a reason why, because it takes into account all the key factors in inventory. So it takes into account profit margins, it takes into account churn or the lifetime of a property, but it also takes into account the acquisition cost. So if you're only going to track one metric for inventory acquisitions, this is it. So typically what we're looking for is a target of 20 times, but the best companies out there that we see are typically doing it at about a 40 times. All right, so in summary, here's kind of what we're looking for the, kind of the best in breed or best in class companies. So first year ROI, we're looking for a 4 times. For the 5-year ROI, we're looking for about a 20 time multiple. And then our months to recover CAC, we really want that to try to be for the best in class or best in breed. We want to keep that under 4 months. And then the LTV to CAC ratio, we're looking for a 40 times multiple. All right, and that's it. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Quick little background about Vintory. Vintory is a sales and marketing agency and technology platform designed to help professional vacation rental managers grow the inventory. So if you're interested in learning more about Vintory, please feel free to email me at brooke@vintory.com. Feel free to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and we should be rolling out these videos about once a month. Hope to see you then.